Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of True Crime with Tiff Kline, giving criminals the disrespect they deserve. And today we are giving McKenzie Shirilla the disrespect she deserves. She wanted to be famous, she wanted to be an influencer, and now it's her time to shine. And let me shine some light on the piece of shit that she really is. Again, this is the show where we give criminals the disrespect they deserve. It's 5:33 a.m. A quiet Strongsville road. Toyota Camry accelerating faster and faster and faster. 5 seconds, full throttle, no brakes. And then impact. A sound that would echo through 3 families, community, and eventually the entire country. This is the case of McKenzie Shirilla and the lives that were lost, Dom Russo and Davion Flanagan. This is the story of a crash that became a murder case in 2022. But recently on Netflix on May 15th, debuted a documentary that shined the light on the piece of shit McKenzie is and her ability to manipulate and get away with everything in her life, whether it's school, friends, social media, and even her parents. A relationship that became a motive, a teenager who became a convicted killer, and 2 young men whose lives ended far too soon. Hey everyone, welcome back to True Crime with Tiff Kline. Again, today's episode is one of the most emotionally complex, legally debated, and publicly polarizing cases I've ever covered. This is the full story of McKenzie Shirilla, Dominic, known as Dom Russo, and Davion Flanagan. From the beginning to the crash to the courtroom to where things stand today. And as always, we center the victims first. Dom and Davion, your names matter here. Your names matter. Your lives mattered. It's July 31st, 2022. The sun hasn't risen yet. The streets are empty. Inside a Toyota Camry are 3 young people. 17-year-old McKenzie Shirilla, driving, her boyfriend, 20-year-old Dominic Russo, and 19-year-old Davion Flanagan, Mom's friend. They had left a friend's house minutes earlier. No one knows exactly what was said in that car, but we know what happened next. The Camry approaches the dead-end road leading to the Plidco building, a narrow stretch. And if you guys watch the documentary and you watch the YouTube videos, you will see other people who have recreated this, and there's no way. It was a 35 mile per hour zone, but due to footage, the car isn't going 35. It's going 90. Then it gets to 100. And then there's sudden impact as the car slams headfirst into a wall, the corner of a wall. Keep that in mind, the corner of a wall. There was evidence that McKenzie was seen on this road a few days prior for no valid reason. Now, let's remember, there are text messages that show that these 2, Dominic and McKenzie, had a toxic relationship. They were together since she was 13 and he was 17, I believe. And then he was 20 when he passed away and she was 17, something like that. And there was a lot of threats from her to him. And this case is a classic narcissistic, controlling, emotionally, verbally, mentally abusive relationship. And this time, it's the girl being the abuser against the guy. Now, I know, he probably has said some things that aren't so, quote, innocent, but there is a thing called reactive abuse. And if you've ever dealt with a narcissist, I have, you get to a point where you fucking snap. And then everybody's like, oh my God. And then all of a sudden you're looked at as the abuser. So let's just keep in mind that reactive abuse is a thing. She did threaten him. She told someone that she was going to crash her car with Dom in it. She said that he wasn't allowed to leave her and would make threats if he didn't open the door. I mean, we saw that in the documentary. We've seen that in text messages. And he wanted to leave her, and she just wouldn't let him. So the car slams into a brick wall. Dom and Davion tragically die instantly, but McKenzie is unconscious but alive. When the officers arrive, their body cam captures chaos. There's broken glass everywhere. There's twisted metal. There's smoke. And one officer whispers almost to himself, this is going to be a nightmare of a day for this whole department. They try desperately to reach the victims. They break windows. They call for backup. They call medics. But for Dom and Davion, it's too late. In the hours after the crash, this looks like a tragic accident. A young driver, high speed, early morning, no skid marks, no obvious signs of intent. They were quick to assume that maybe she was impaired by alcohol or drugs. But investigators consider impairment. Marijuana and mushrooms were found among McKenzie's belongings, but toxology comes back negative. They consider mechanical failure, but the car checks out. Still, nothing yet screams homicide. Dom's family is shattered, obviously. Davion's family is shattered, obviously. McKenzie's family in denial. I want to say maybe terrified because they know their daughter finally did something that they can't help get her out of. I want to say denial for them. Fake. Liars. And when you watch the documentary, as soon as they appeared on the documentary, my red flag went up. First the dad comes rolling out like he's going to a Dave Grohl concert with the flannel and a shirt that says boom. I mean, come on. Out of all shirts, you have to say one that says boom. And I'm sure he has his jeans, under the table with his Chuck Taylors that were probably black. And he's got his wallet hooked to his chain with a hacky sack in his back pocket because that's what he reminded me of. Like he thought he was still the cool guy in high school. And then we have the mom who's just completely in denial, completely separate from reality. Doesn't want to believe that her daughter fucked up this bad, almost as if she's embarrassed, but she's not because she really doesn't think her daughter did anything wrong. They said in the doc that she got in trouble in school and she would get less and less consequences. And the dad would say, did that happen? And she'd say, no. He's like, well, good enough for me. And then that was it. It was always her word against everybody else's. Her friends, well, not her friends. Some people said she never had consequences. And then her friends in the documentary are backing her up. And what it seems to me was that she called the shots in home. She called the shots at school. And it was easier for her parents to just let her do whatever the fuck she wanted than to deal with her bitch ass. That's what it reminded me of. They were probably just like, let her do what she wants. It's not worth the headache. Well, guess what? Now she took the lives of two men, Dom and Davion, because she never had consequences. And still, she thought mommy and daddy could get her out of this one. So when they appear in the documentary, they just make me like Theo Von when he goes, makes me want to kick a fat kid in Kmart, Like, they get me so fucking mad because it's like they can't look at the camera for one. I noticed that with her parents. They can't look at the camera. She keeps looking to the left, maybe the right. It's just because the camera's flipped around. And then the friend Rosie, I think was her name. She also couldn't look at the camera. And she pissed me off because, she's talking, oh, well, McKenzie wouldn't do this. She was very cautious of what she put in her body. Bitch, she didn't eat a McChicken, but she ate shrooms and smoked pot. Now, I'm not against whatever you guys want to do, you do. Whatever people do behind, like, whatever it is you do, do. But don't sit there and compare her. Gives a crap about what she puts in her body. I mean, I don't think pot and shrooms are that big of a deal. I mean, they're natural, but like, if she is putting shit in her body like that, bitch, she is eating McChickens. You just don't see it, you dumbass. Like, what? And then she says, well, she only had 1,000 followers. I had 500,000. Excuse me, bitch. This girl took the lives of two men, Dom and Davion, and you're on a documentary when you never would talk to the police, but now all of a sudden you get the fame, and you're talking about how your friend doesn't eat McChickens and how many followers you have. I hope she loses all her followers. Like, I don't, it's like everybody besides Dom and Davion's family forgot that she took the lives of Dom and Davion. And we're going to say their names multiple times because they deserve it. So she takes Dom and Davion's life, and all her friend is worried about is her eating McChickens, taking care of her body, and not having as many followers as her. Okay. All right. Anyway, so, then we see McKenzie stroll in on the documentary with her hair up, thug. She reminds me of a ghetto version of Kylie Jenner, like the Dollar General version of Kylie Jenner. That's who she looks like. You finally get to tell the world your story in your words, and you roll in looking like the Dollar General Kylie Jenner, talking like a thug. I hope she's gotten her ass beaten there. I really do. She just looks at her makes me just want to punch her right in her face. Like, if I was in prison, I would jump her. Like, I honestly would. Like, she just has that look where you just want to knock her face right off her head. Like, I don't, she still thinks that she's the shit. And she did nothing wrong. And all of a sudden, it's convenient that she doesn't remember what happened right before she hit the wall. Now, she's had this POTS disease that makes you pass out and black out. You stand up too fast and your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure drops or whatever. You have a million videos out there for TikTok and Instagram, whatever the hell you're filming for your, quote, fans. And you're smoking pot while driving right on camera. Nothing ever happens. But coincidentally, right before you hit a brick wall, you just black out and don't remember. Now, I'm sorry. I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to say that if you are to black out, your body will probably go limp, not metal to the fucking pedal at 100 miles an hour. I mean, that's just me. I'm not Albert Einstein, okay? I don't work for NASA, but I'm using common sense here. I don't think her foot was metal to the pedal for 5 seconds if she was blacked out. Just saying. Because the car was in drive, thrown into neutral and back into drive, it seems to me, and this is just how I'm envisioning what makes the most sense. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying that my word is the truth. I'm just saying what it appears to be is she and Dom were probably fighting in the car. He wanted to leave her. Maybe he wanted to get out of the car. Maybe he said, we're breaking up. Who knows what was said in that car? And I don't think she premeditated it, but then it also goes back to why was she on that road a few days earlier? So it's really hard to say. But I think in that moment, she saw black. And I don't think she blacked out because of POTS. I think she blacked out because she was pissed. And people do stupid shit when they black out. Now, she keeps saying she doesn't remember. Well, probably because she went into a black void blackout of rage, not passing out. There's a difference. I've been there from a narcissist who has pushed me so far that I have driven a car and I would get to where I'm going and don't remember driving. I don't remember. I'm in a sweat, like legit sweat. I mean, thank God it doesn't happen anymore, but I've been through it. There is a difference between being blacked out because you're mad and just that's it, and blacked out, passed out. There's a huge difference. So she may claim that she blacked out, doesn't remember, but if she did, it's probably because she was in a fit of rage. So she's using that whole POTS thing as her defense, and it's not working too well for her. Even the judge brings it up at her trial. Now, remember, she chose a bench jury over a jury. And my guess is because she thought she was underage that the judge would take it easy on her because she was only 17 and she didn't mean to do it. And, maybe I'll just get my license revoked for a few years and have to do community service. And no, judge didn't give a fuck. What's really cool about this is that judge's last name, Russo, is the same as the man of the life that she took, Dom, her boyfriend, Russo. If that's not karma, love it. So, she doesn't get a trial. She waives it from a jury because she probably thinks that they're going to give her life to death. So she goes with the bench trial. And the judge has no remorse, calls her hell on wheels, and thinks she took the lives on purpose of Davion and Dom. Now, as we can see, McKenzie writes this bullshit sympathy letter. I'm sorry, but then talks more about her and her parents. Then we see text messages from Dom's mom brought up on the screen. Then we see McKenzie's mom take the stand and speak at her daughter's bench trial. And nowhere did she say that her daughter was wrong. Nowhere did she say that the lives of Davion and Dom mattered. Nowhere did she say, I'm sorry to their parents for the mistakes that my daughter made. No accountability as a parent. I mean, she never took it anyway. My feeling is the mother is a class A narcissist. The dad rolls with it because he doesn't want to deal with her. The daughter is a product of her environment. McKenzie, another narcissist. And her dad is passive. And the mom is aggressive. So McKenzie gets away with everything with her dad. Clearly, you can see when he goes into the school and says, well, is that what happened? And she's like, no. He's like, good enough for me. She called the shots in that home. And the mother eventually gave up because she met her match. And it was easier for them to let her do what she wanted and be the cool, hip parents than to try to give discipline and consequences and deal with her shitty behavior. No consequences, no punishment. And now she took the lives of 2 innocent guys. So as soon as they step on film, they just piss me the fuck off because, the dad rolls in with a boom shirt. You're going on Netflix, bro, and you pick a shirt that says boom after your daughter takes the lives of 2 boys in a car that crashes into a wall, and you have your hacky sack in your back pocket and probably Chuck Taylor's on underneath that table. And okay, cool, you smoke pot. But then he says, I don't care. Your daughter did it in high school and you just didn't give a shit. there comes a time where you have to be a parent and you can't be their friend. And it seems like they wanted to be her friend. They can't look at the camera. Her friend doesn't look at the camera. And it's fake tears, fake emotion. They give no fucks that their daughter killed somebody. They're in so much denial. And if they don't fight and appeal for her, she's going to make their lives a living hell if she ever got out, which I don't think she's going to anytime soon. Obviously, she's in until 2030, appeal for parole. But as of right now, she did try it within 3 years and they denied it. So I think she's going to be in for those 15 years. But unfortunately, they're concurrent and not consecutive. Now, I don't know what the judge's reason was behind that. It should have been one after the next, but judge did what the judge thought was necessary. But I loved how the judge just jumped down her mom's throat. Like, basically, you're making excuses for your daughter. I don't hear you having remorse or any kind of emotion towards the lives that your daughter took. Are they not important? And she's like, yes, they're important. God, yes. Like, how fucking fake can you be? Like, I really think her mother's a narcissist. Like, behind closed doors, she ruled the roost. And then Mackenzie got to a point when she was like probably 15. She probably started calling the shots and made their life a living hell. And then she moves in with a boyfriend when she's like 17. They're like, oh yeah, she's mature enough. Yeah, she looks mature enough. I guarantee you they're like, get the fuck out, please. We're not going to deal with you anymore. Or they tried to stop her and she's like, no, I'm doing it. I don't give a fuck what you have to say. I'm moving out. Like, she called the shots. Even she even verbally abused her teachers. Like, I read some text messages that she didn't feel like going into work because she was sick. And the boss said, you can't just come and go as you please. It's not fair to the other employees that you get away with anything that you want. I'm writing up your termination. And she's like, bitch, I quit. Like, no one wants to work for your dirty ass thing anyway. Like, she's such a fucking asshole. Like, pardon my French, but God. As Theo Vaughn would say, I'm going to quote him again. All we can do is pray for her. And this is some real shit. Now, we ain't praying for her. The only thing I'm praying is that she gets locked up forever, or she gets her ass beat on the inside, or the day she steps out of prison, I pray that she gets her ass beat. That's what I pray for. Sorry, I had to quote him because I just thought it was fitting. Theo Vaughn. But I don't know. All signs point to yes. You guys will hear me say this in my podcast. It's like a magic 8-ball. Shake it. It's going to say all the signs point to yes. I don't think she pre-planned it, but again, because she was on that road a few days prior, it shows premeditation, but I just think it was done in the moment. Now, why they got up and left at 5:30, I don't know, unless she did plan it. And maybe she woke up and said, let's go home. And this was her idea from the beginning. I don't know. Maybe I missed something. But, I think if it was premeditated, she was going to take her own life and she didn't give a shit. Like, it was, if I can't have you, no one can. And just to prove a point, I'm going to drive she probably even said to him in the car, I'm going to drive this car on a fucking road. And they probably like threw her car into neutral trying to stop her. And they just couldn't. It was too late. Like, I guarantee you that's what happened in that car. She's driving faster and faster and faster because something happened. Something was said. And she probably said, I'll drive this car in a fucking wall and kill us all. I guarantee you. I mean, again, I'm not an expert. I wasn't there. I'm not an investigator. That's just what my senses say because I've been in an abusive relationship. Something like that happened. And she probably drove faster and faster. And one of those guys threw that car into neutral hoping to stop her. And they just couldn't. So that, I think if, there's a motive behind it because Dom wanted to leave her. And she just wasn't having it because she's a control fucking narcissist. And she made his life a living hell and then took his life. So, yeah. But the Dollar Tree Kylie Jenner, ladies and gentlemen, she got the fame she wanted because everyone's talking about her now. So, there's black box data, which I said, the car's black box reveals something. The accelerator was pressed at 100%. Okay. The brakes, 0. Duration, 5 full seconds at 100 miles per hour. This wasn't a momentary lapse. This wasn't drifting off. This wasn't a panic reaction. This was full acceleration into a wall. A wall. Then a friend comes forward. She says that 2 weeks before the crash, wait for it, McKenzie threatened to wreck the car with Dom in it. Suddenly, surprise, surprise, investigators see a pattern, a motive, a possibility. Dom and McKenzie's relationship was intense, emotional, on again, off again, on again, off again, fights, breakups, reconciliations, screenshots, threats, tears. Teenage love, but with adult consequences. Prosecutors argue that McKenzie was spiraling. She was angry, she wanted control, that she weaponized the car, and they say the crash wasn't a mistake, but it was a decision. The defense paints a different picture. A young girl with POTS, a condition that can cause blackouts, a medical episode behind the wheel, a tragic accident, not murder. On November 7th, 2022, McKenzie is arrested. When officers remove her jewelry, gifts from Dom, she breaks down. It's one of the only emotional moments captured on video. McKenzie waives her right to a jury. Again, she chose a bench trial with Judge Nancy Margaret Russo. And the prosecution brings to the trial the black box data, their surveillance footage, their relationship history, the alleged threat, the crash reconstruction experts, and behavioral analysis. While the defense brings medical experts, pot specialists, character witnesses, McKenzie's own testimony, and the argument that data doesn't equal intent. Okay. I think these guys were smoking a little of that marijuana and those shrooms that she had on her. In August of 2023, the judge delivers her ruling guilty on all 12 counts. She had a mission and she executed it with precision. The decision was death. Kenzie is sentenced to 15 years to life with her license permanently revoked. That means she gets out, she can never get a driver's license, which the judge brought up in trial. If you knew your daughter blacked out, why did you take her to have a driver's test? Ding, 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 ding. People with epilepsy aren't allowed, so why is this girl with POTS allowed to be driving? Now, today, McKenzie is 21 years old, serving her sentence in Ohio. Her appeals, thank God, have been denied. Her case is featured in this weekend's documentary on Netflix, The Crash. Some people see a murder. Some see a reckless teenager. Some see a medical mystery. And some see a broken system. But two families see something else entirely. A future stolen, a son gone, a brother gone, and a friend gone. Dom Russo and Davion Flanagan. Two young men with dreams, families, futures. They were loved. They were needed. They were more than this case. Dom was funny, loyal, protective, charismatic, intelligent, good with money. He loved his family. He loved his friends. He had plans. Davion was gentle, kind, artistic, thoughtful. He was the type of person who made people feel safe. He had a future that should have been long. This case is complicated. It's painful. It's messy. It's human. But 3 families were destroyed in one moment at the hands of this girl. 2 young men lost their lives. 1 young woman lost her freedom. And the truth may live somewhere between the data, the emotion, the memory, and the tragedy. But what matters most is Dom and Davion deserved long lives. They deserved futures, and they deserve to be remembered for who they are, not how they died. I did watch some YouTube footage of phone calls that happened between McKenzie and her mom after she was sentenced. Then I watched some body cam footage, and I took some notes on the phone calls between her and her mom, which I thought were shady. So I'm going to throw out some mad disrespect to this little bitch, McKenzie Shirilla. So one thing that I caught was, she's like, I want to see you guys. I want to see you guys. She's on the phone with her parents. And her mom's like, if we have to move closer so I don't, if we have to move closer so I can see you every day, we will. So I don't have to drive by their damn house every day. That'd be a plus for me. That's what the mom said. Now, I'm guessing she's referring to driving by Damien and or Dom's house. And again, let's make the lives easier of the killer. Let's make McKenzie's life easier. Let's make her parents' life easier. Because that'd be a plus for her. That she doesn't have to drive by every day and be reminded that her daughter killed 2 men behind the wheel. So let's just brush it under the rug like it never happened. And then it's a plus for her because she doesn't have to face the consequence of it every day and know that she was a piece of shit parent. All she kept saying on the phone to McKenzie was, don't say anything. Keep it bland, blah, blah, blah. Do not say anything. We're fighting for you and this could hurt the appeal. You hear McKenzie say, we need a protest about this. And I swear her mom said Dom would be flipping the fuck out right now, as if Dom's going to sit there and protect her. Okay. McKenzie said mental health asked her if she was okay, if she was going to hurt herself. She said, no, I'm not going to hurt myself. But she said mental health wasn't that helpful. The mom got excited and was like, oh, I didn't know they had that in there. Well, bitch, maybe you should have got your daughter some mental health services when she was younger, because clearly she has a problem and you wouldn't be talking to her in prison today. Just saying. Just saying. She's in Gen Pop at that point, you know. I don't know if they moved her by herself yet for protection, but at that point when she was sentenced and taken, she was in Gen Pop, and all they kept talking about was her commissary. That's all she worried about, was her daughter getting her commissary. And then you have McKenzie on the phone, like, all thug and ghetto, like she's the biggest, baddest bitch on the block. She's talking and running her mouth about somebody in prison. But all the mom kept saying was, don't repeat, don't say anything to anyone. We're going to appeal. And then told McKenzie, your fans came through but couldn't get in. Her fans came to the court but couldn't get in the courtroom. She wanted to make McKenzie know that, yeah, people on the internet are rooting for you. You're still famous online. Don't worry, honey. We got you. Then the dad tries to talk on the phone and he can't control himself. So the wife takes the phone back from him and says, if we screw it up, it can be used against us and we can't fight for you. So he can't talk. There's the mother being in the control again. See what I'm saying? She called the shots until McKenzie called the shots. Then McKenzie asks her mom, it was live stream, I heard. Was it live streamed? Like, all she cared about was her fame. Not because she took the lives of Dom and Davion. Let's just put that right there for a second. All she cared about was if it was live streamed. Doesn't care about how their families are, just about it being live streamed. Then the parents kept saying, we know you're innocent. 95% of the population knows you are. No, bitch. Nobody thinks your daughter's innocent. Come out of the delulu of what world you're living in. Nobody thinks she's innocent. And if they do, they're just as delusional as you are. Again, she repeats herself. We have to be very careful because I don't want to mess this up for you. What are they hiding? There is something that she does not want McKenzie to say because it can mess up the appeal. Now, we know that her appeal got denied and she's not up again until 2037. But what was so secretive that could jeopardize the appeal? Very nonchalant. Everything was nonchalant. And the mom kept saying, I knew this was going to happen because of who they were. I don't know what she meant by that, but it was kind of weird. Like, I knew this was going to happen because of who they were. Who was? The Dom and Davion's parents or the prosecutors? Like, I don't know who she was talking about, but she says, now I have all these charges. Why did she have to read them off like that? Like, she's pouting because the judge read off her charges in court. And she's like, it's embarrassing. You know what's fucking embarrassing? That your parents didn't beat your ass when you were growing up and give you a damn consequence, and that you mouthed off and disrespected everybody in school, called the shots in your household, and then took the lives of 2 boys. Your parents should be embarrassed. Okay? Your parents should be. And the mom kept saying, if we have to sell our house to come be by you, to see you every day, we will. Then she says, McKenzie says, you need to get my stuff from Dom's house before they burn it or some shit. All right. Nothing of, I hope Dom's mom's okay. I can't believe Dom is not here. I loved him. I miss him. I can't believe he's not here. And I didn't mean to do it. You know, no crying, no sympathy, no remorse. Now she's just worried about her stuff. The objects at Dom's house, because she's more concerned that his family's going to burn it than the fact that he no longer has a life. She keeps saying she wants a new lawyer. She keeps bringing up Scott Ramsey. And then she says, I'll text it to you. So this goes back to a few episodes I've had where I have complained that prisoners get tablets in jail. They get FaceTime rights. They get email. They get texting. No, they get 3 hots and a cot. They don't have to pay bills. And they get connection to the outside world. Cool. Her mom said, I'm in shock. I think, I expected this to happen, her mom said. But at the same time, I shouldn't say that. She's like, I'm just flabbergasted. And McKenzie says about her lawyer, I feel like he could have fought harder. So once again, turning all the blame on other people and not taking the accountability that she was behind the wheel and took the lives of Davion and sorry, I'm getting their words tongue-tied. Dom and Davion. She has no care in the world. Just blaming the lawyer now. The dad's in the background going, oh, you got a raw deal, honey. You got a raw deal. No, you got consequences for this first time in your fucking life. That's what you got. He says, the mom goes, that was the craziest thing ever. Definitely bizarre. It's like she wanted that to happen. I think she was referring to the judge. And then McKenzie's like, it's so embarrassing. Everyone is dumbfounded, her mom said. Her mom kept saying, just trust us, please. And she's like, remember, McKenzie, every day spent is time served. You're alive. We don't know what your story is. It's just beginning. We don't know yet. It's just beginning. Who knows what the future holds? No one knows after time. You'll see the reason for all this. You're a force to be reckoned with in this world, and people need you. You've already done so much good in this world. And then they start laughing about a boy. She said, oh, guess who I saw today? Talking about some boy And then they start cracking up laughing. No, again, let's pretend that she didn't take the lives of 2 other men. They're talking about how Monday's going to super suck. Everyone gets to talk. And I'm guessing this was the appeal, no, or maybe the sentence. Everyone gets to talk, so do they. And what they have to say is going to be really hard for you to hear, but you get to talk too. And McKenzie says, I already know what I'm going to say. And we heard what she had to say. It was a remorseful-less, is that a word? It was a very empty letter that she read. And then her mom says, after Monday, you can just be. Take it easy, honey. Take a breath. You killed 2 young men, but you can just be behind bars and just let us handle it. Just like everything else in her life, you can just be, honey. Here's some soup, and here's your blanket, and here's all your favorite movies, and you just be you. And we'll take care of it. We'll get you out of trouble, honey. Just trust us. I mean, that's exactly what it is. She says she's in there with women 19 to 50, but she wishes they were 12 to 13. Yeah, so she could rule the roost, because now she's up there with the big dogs and she's going to get her ass beat. Her mom says, don't call friends, just text. Do not say anything. And the only thing that they need to say is, thank you for your support. Keep praying for us, and we're filing an appeal. And that's all we're allowed to say. McKenzie says, I pray and pray, but my prayers will never fucking be answered. So what's the point? And then the mom says, well, what if this saved you from something? You took the lives of 2 boys and we're worried about you being saved? She says, keep the faith and keep praying. And Mackenzie's like, this was craziness. And their parents said, we already started fighting. At least you're with other people, not by yourself. But remember, for the 20th time, ask about your commissary. And then her mom said, there's a special place in hell for what they did to you. It's repulsive. And then Mackenzie's worried about getting out to go to a funeral for her family. And like, I had to stop because I was getting so mad and so sick. That is a narcissistic family. Her mom is a 100% narcissist. And Mackenzie learned she's a product of her environment. The dad's passive and just sits back and lets the mom call the shots. And then when Mackenzie got older, she called the shots. And her mom gave up because she met her match. Oh, well, after Monday, you just be. You just be in prison and serve your time. And mommy and daddy got it and we'll get you out. That's exactly what that is. Once again, no consequence, no accountability, no remorse, no sympathy. It's just mind-blowing. I just see Kylie Jenner, like Dollar General version of Kylie Jenner. I just want to slap the shit out of her. You know, she sits there in camera and it's like she's out of touch with reality. Like she didn't do anything. And then she looks at her lawyer and is like, am I allowed to end it like this? Should I say this? Like, why did you go on TV? Because you wanted your TikTok follower to go up to meet your friend Rosie over here at 500,000? Is that what this is about? So you get your TikTok followers, and I'm sure your friends keeping it open for you. Of you smoking blunts in the car. You're famous now, bitch. You got what you wanted. Everybody in the world knows you're a murderer. You clearly, either before or during, made the decision to kill your boyfriend. And poor Davion was just in the backseat, brought into this for no reason, except for your selfish bullshit. I hope this episode gave McKenzie Shirilla the disrespect she deserves. Give her some more in the comments. I'm grateful. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to follow. I am on iHeart, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple, and all of your favorite streaming platforms. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, an award-winning social media page, True Crime with Tiff Kline. I'm also on Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. I will be at CrimeCon in a week and a half in Vegas, and I can't wait to see all my CrimeCon friends. You know who you are, and I'm excited to see some of the speakers again, like Joseph Scott Morgan and Nancy Grace and Benny Politan, just to name a few, and hang out with Gabby Petito's parents again, because I'm a volunteer, and see my friend Aspen, and I'm looking forward to it. Being around 7,000 people in Vegas, all there to support families of victims and victims, dressing up as their favorite serial killers and promoting murder. We're there to support victims and their families. And I'm excited to go back for the second time. And I already have my badge for 2027. So I'll see you at CrimeCon, guys. And if you're there, I will have stickers and postcards and business cards to pass out. First come, first serve. And I'll also be passing out some stationery from the Crime Stary Fest that's happening in Boston that I was supposed to speak at, or not speak at, have my podcast there. And unfortunately, I have to have surgery at the end of July, and I need to save the time in case I need it. And I made the hard decision to cancel my appearance at Crime Story. I was going to set up my booth for my podcast and promote it, but maybe next year. But I will be passing out some stuff for that at CrimeCon as well. I told Sasha, the creator of Crime Story, that I will still help. So look out for that. My girl Danny After Dark will be there. Your host Jules, Like Mother, Like Murder, Daryl McCollum. I'm disappointed I can't go, but I'll try again next year. But again, thank you for listening to True Crime with Tiff Kline. Hold your people close and keep giving criminals the disrespect they deserve.